Driving down this road for an hour, trying to get away.
So, how are you?
I'm great, Johnny. I'm great. A little tired. I'm not gonna lie. I'm a little tired.
I
And
know.
and one of our guests today can explain why I'm tired.
You can't keep
Although
up
he
with
saw
him.
the end of it.
Look at that handsome smile. Definitely full of
Oh my
energy.
God, he's beyond handsome. Wait till you hear his story. Wait till you hear how he walked away yesterday from attending our event. So he's an amazing young man. But before we even talk about him, which I'm extremely anxious, we're hoping that Guerline comes back. But in the meantime, we want to tell our friends who are already on to please share the live. The show cannot happen without you, our audience. It cannot happen without you inviting your friends, your family members, because you guys know automatically 4 o'clock every Sunday, it's Mojo time. So let everybody come around the table where we're going to share information, knowledge, where you're going to get to meet great individuals in our community. Um, Most excitingly, where you get to meet my youth, my wonderful youth. I have so much fun. Maybe that's why I feel so young in spirit, although my chronological age is telling different, but I just feel good being around young people. So Johnny, I walked away feeling rejuvenated yesterday after working with those young people. I was on my toes. I don't know, I had a lot of energy yesterday.
Well,
How about
it's usually what happens when you work with youth who bring a different level of energy that is different than my level of energy, right? They kind of give you the strength to really go and do more. And it's great to work with young people. So, and it keeps all of us young working with young people. So it's really such a pleasure. First, again, as you say, Mona Lisa, we just want to say thank you to everyone who's watching. Please do share the live because it's important that we reach as many people as possible. As always, if it's Sunday, it is Le Mojo Show with Dr. Mona Lisa and Johnny Celestin. And this is your show to really talk about what's happening in the Haitian community, what's happening. At some point, we'll be talking about a little bit of what's happening in Haiti as well. But our focus has really been on what's happening here. We try to bring relevant topics, relevant information, whether it dealt with the pandemic, COVID-19, what resources were available, making sure that professionals as well as elected officials use this platform to inform the Haitian community. So it's always a pleasure every Sunday to be here with all of you and with all of the guests.
Yes, indeed, to second that motion, Johnny. It's I'm always excited around this time of the day. I mean, from the morning, from the time that I wake up, I'm so looking forward to being on the Mojo with our audience. And I do enjoy the feedback that we've been getting about the show. I also am grateful for the new partnerships that we're creating, the new segments that we're anticipating to have. Unfortunately, I have a little bad news. We're supposed to launch this health segment today in honor of Men's Health Week, because this past week was Men's Health Week. The month of June is the month of men. This is where we celebrate men. Today actually is Father's Day, so happy Father's Day to you, Johnny.
Thank you
Um,
so
uh,
much.
on behalf of your darling wife, Layla, and your daughter, Jenna, and on behalf of the Mojo Show, uh, happy Father's Day to you and to all the fathers out there.
Thank you.
Again, thank you for the sacrifice that you make on this day where you should be celebrated, but you choose to put that hour aside to celebrate with the rest of the world. Again, to you, we are grateful. Thank you for your time. Thank you for your energy. And thank you for your commitment to the community, to the global community, as we share this platform. It's a pleasure, it's an honor for me to be your co-host.
No place that I would rather be right now.
Yes, indeed. We're also glad that this past week we collaborated with NAAHP. We were a sponsor for their symposium that they had on Wednesday. And from that participation, we realized a lot of people have been sending requests and they need to know more about Mojo. I'm getting requests of people who would love to be on our show. They just want to know about Mojo. So in the coming days, we just want to let you guys know that Johnny and I are working wholeheartedly to make sure that we make this platform better and better every day.
Yeah.
Um, Johnny, I think it's time for us to also take that 30-second that we always observe in honor of those who have lost their lives during COVID-19. Um, they weren't as lucky or as great as I would say again, lucky. It's really we happen to be lucky and blessed to continue to be alive. Yesterday, as we celebrated with the young people, I also made sure that we continue to observe that because they even lost some of their classmates. They lost some of their teachers. I've lost a lot of colleagues to COVID-19. So, without further ado, let's observe that 30-second of silence again in honor of those who have left us due to this pandemic.
Indeed.
Okay, okay. Once again, welcome to the Mojo Show. Welcome to those of you who are already online. We're asking once again that you do share the live. Please share the live. And today, before we proceed with our show, I just simply want to thank all of those who donated, all of those who collaborated. Again, I don't like to get into the slew of names that I have because then I'm going to leave so many people out, and I would rather not do that. I'm preparing a special post, which will be live, so I can thank our sponsors. But today I have one of our young, handsome, like you just said, Johnny, and I'm so excited. I don't want to take away from his time that he's going to share his excitement, where he's going to share not just the moment that he spent with us yesterday on the Mojo, but the power of collaboration because SHR Youth, with my brother's keeper, we were able to collaborate with A-Day Youth, who has as their leader our former host from last weekend, Johnny. I don't know if you remember.
Absolutely.
Yes, yes. So today I really want to send kudos to Betty Augustin, the founder and president of Ada Youth, Pastor Chloe, Natasha Chloe, who was there, and they weren't just there for the day of the event, but I'm talking about these women who've been, side by side, working with me, collaborating, our elected officials, and they were there yesterday. We had two celebration, one live at Cache Restaurant in Brooklyn, and we had a Zoom from 7:30 to 9:30. We actually lasted till 10 p.m.
Oh, wow.
So
Amazing.
to tell you about that, I'm going to put Jeff on. But Jeff, before we even talk about the event, please, Jeff, introduce yourself to the audience. Let them know who you are. Let them know about the one. And please don't be shy. Don't be ashamed. We are proud of you. But we want the rest of the world to share that pride that we have in you as a young immigrant.
Good afternoon, everybody. My name is Jephunne Luxama, and I'm from Haiti. I'm so proud to be a Haitian man, a handsome black man, and I'm here to represent who I am, Haiti, and my community.
Wonderful.
Yes, yes, yes. So, Johnny, I think you probably would want him to expand on that as far as the graduating class of 2020 is concerned.
Well,
So, I'm
I
going to
love,
let you.
for people who don't know you, Jeffy, tell us, where do you come from in Haiti? When did you come to the United States? Before we get to your high school's years here, just tell us a little bit about you, your parents, if any, your family members, where in Haiti you're from.
I'm from Haiti, Okai. I don't know if in the south. I'm
Uh-huh.
from the south, and I
Okay.
moved here 2016, 4 years ago, June
Okay.
2016, and I believe that day and that month, that year was it big turning point for my life, and it played a major role in who I'm becoming and what I'm and everything that I'm doing in life.
Wonderful, wonderful. And so you were in Brooklyn. In which high school did you attend?
I was not in Brooklyn actually. Yesterday, I was in Brooklyn celebrating with Dr. Melissa. Yesterday, I had a great time and it was fun. And it was so nice to meet her. She's such a great person. So, yeah, but I went to Forest High School, which is in Queens.
Okay.
Um, yeah, and I'm also a musician, a scholar, and an athlete. So it has been a great journey. This past 4 years of high school has been such a blessing for me, and I've achieved a lot of things. I would say that are unbelievable to so many other people. You know,
Yeah.
to see
What
a
instrument?
young,
Yeah,
oh,
what instrument do you
I
play?
play the saxophone.
Okay. Oh, wow.
Yeah, and
Wonderful.
to see a young black immigrant, achieve all these things, coming from Haiti 4 years ago, it's not a small thing, and I'm really grateful to God for giving me this opportunity.
I remember coming to the States around the same age. So this is an amazing time to be here. Mona Lisa?
Yes. So Jeff, yesterday we spoke about a village, and you heard me kept mentioning over and over about the village, and I kept talking about the shoulders that I stand on to be where I am today. So for this success that you just mentioned and all these blessings that you have just shared with us, who would you like to give credit to besides God? I mean, we all believe in God. I mean, I get that. I totally understand. But if you were to expand on that, as far as the support system that you had in the village, who are you most grateful to today?
Oh man, I don't know where to start. And you said God already. God is the greatest. I say my mom, my dad, and especially my mom, my dad have done the part, but here I'm not living with either my mom and my dad, so I have to be really grateful and thankful for my aunt, for both my auntie Lynn Gideon and Kai's Demon, for because since day one, since when I moved here, I've been living with them, and they have been, incredible. They have supporting me in everything that I'm doing. Especially my aunt Lee, she's the one. She's like, go, go, as soon as you're doing something positive, she's there to encourage you, and she has set a great model for me, achieving success in life.
I know you look familiar. I looked at your
And of course,
face.
Johnny, Lynn kept saying, Mona Lisa, how come you're here without Johnny? So,
I
Johnny,
know.
I don't know, we got to set the record straight because people seem to have the idea that, you know what, the fact that we're Mojo and it's like everywhere they see me, they got to see you too.
Oh, I knew. I'm looking at your face and I'm like, I know this face. And when you said
Yes.
okay, something clicked. But I was like, well, wait a minute. Let me just that's wonderful. Your aunt is such an amazing, amazing person, and you come from such a wonderful family. It's really great and it's an honor really to meet you. And you represent much more than just yourself. And you can see the excitement of when I kind of make the connection about who you are and who your family is. And it's really, you came here at 14. I came around the same age, not living with your parents. Same for me. You were living with your aunties. Same for me. So it's just, we have years apart, right? Over 30 years difference. But it's really interesting to see the path and the way you talk. I wish I was as mature as you were when I was 20. It took me a little bit of time to get my bearing right. But I think it's really amazing to see you thinking the way that you are. And you were talking about, I don't know what I know I'm so excited. You were talking about college before we got on and what you wanted to do. We'll talk about that a little bit. But, Mona Lisa, I know you had some questions about yesterday's event.
No, you know what, Johnny? I don't even want to get into yesterday yet. I want to save that for last because
Okay,
that's like the tip of the iceberg. But I truly want to m'vle fon ti rentre, fon ti reculer en arrière.
d'accord.
Kote ke yon bagay ou so di la, Johnny, wap pale de lò te vin ici à l'âge ko te vin ici. Moi-même tout vin ici à l'âge de 13 ans. So, question m gen pou Jeff, c'est que Jeff, parlez-nous de transition lorsqu'on nouveau immigrant dans le pays, dans terre étrangère, ou est côté qu'on pas connaît personne, ou entrer dans l'école, ou pas qu'on langue là. Tell me about that experience. How was that? Because I can recall mine, even though it happened 40 something years ago, and I still remember it.
Man, I have to say it's nothing easy. It's not easy coming from Haiti. You know, it's not easy. You know, not knowing how to speak English. I always say the only thing I know how to say was yes. Yes was the good to everything. Yes, yes, yeah.
That's not,
And so
you
yes
know what,
was
Jeff? Let me stop you right there. It's funny you should say that. I was the same way. It's like everything they tell you, it's like, and you're always ready to smile. Yes,
Yeah.
somebody could say, I'm going to kill you. And you're like, yes, yes.
Yes.
So,
The immigrant life.
yeah, man.
immigrant life, yes.
So going to school was the greatest thing, man. So when I got to school, I was so impressed. I was like, wow, so many people, white people, brown people, people. It was diverse. I was I was amazed. And my school has like a lot of students. For me to get around, it was not easy, but I managed to speak English. In the first year, I managed because I was so passionate about education, and I don't know, I was so into speaking English because I know I had something to do. I know I came from Haiti to educate myself and to better myself and to pull back what I've learned into the community. So I was so determined to speak English and to get involved. So in my English class, I was like, okay, this was the only class that interested me the most was
Yeah.
English because I know I
Yes.
had to speak English.
That ESL class, right? That ESL
Yeah,
class.
yeah, that ESL class was the only thing I was looking forward to, and I was always asking my teachers about books. I was reading a lot. I was reading a lot, reading some stories and trying to practice, trying to add my Google Translate, and and um, as months passed by and years passed by, I started to make friends, great friends, and I started to get involved into the school. I was part of jazz band, concert band, and I'm also part of the track team of the school, getting involved in clubs, helping my classmate with the work because coming from Haiti, you know, you have to have that math on you. You know, math was the all math is my strongest suit. So I had math and I was always helping my classmates in math. So it was, but I mean, it was not easy. But as long as you staying positive and you know what you want, nothing is impossible. You can do it.
Absolutely, absolutely. So, Johnny, I'm going to let you ask the next question, but I'm going to lead you so you can ask the right question. As this man sitting here before us was recently on New York One, he knows so much English now. He's stepping out of the classroom, he's stepping into TV. So,
Wow.
TV is not new for him. So, I really
Wonderful.
want him to share that experience of being on New York One just by connecting the mere fact that this is a student now who came here 4 years ago, not knowing a word of English. And myself, as a former ESL teacher, and trust me, I these this was like my favorite population to work with, because I can definitely connect. Until this day, every time they're speaking, and you could feel the passion in me. It's like, oh my God, another one of me. It's just a male version, you know. So please share that experience with us, Jeff. That experience of you on being New York One. Did you ever dream of sitting on a TV set telling your story?
And
I
Jeff,
mean,
before you go start answering, Mona Lisa, and I'll ask the follow-up question so that in the
Yes,
meantime, you can check on Guerline for us.
good.
Yeah,
Yes,
because she's
yes.
on, but her screen is dark. So we'll kind of take this conversation. And
No problem.
so, Jeffrey, please go ahead. Talk to us a little bit about New York One.
okay, so I was in New York One for being a scholar athlete. Basically, in high school, I've maintained a 4.0 GPA, and I've been involved in so many other extracurricular activities. I was, I'm still a member. I can say I'm still a member of jazz at of All City Latin Band, and I was a member of All City Jazz Band, and I was a member of jazz at Lincoln Center High School program,
Oh, wow.
and Yeah, so I was in New York one for all my
So let me just ask you. I mean, I know as a young person, I know from the family that you come from, you have this background. But as a young man, right? And like I said, there's some similarities between us, but yet it took me a little while to find my way, right? I left high school mostly because I was on my own. So I had to work and I had to do certain things to survive, and then kind of, you know, left high school and then went back to high school to college. But I must admit that I didn't find my way until a little bit later, right? In terms of the kinds of things that you're doing. If you were talking to another young man, another young Haitian American, but really your experience is the American experience, which transcend being Haitian, Jamaican, Trinidadian, any other end that we want to name. If you were talking to a colleague and talking about what made you so clear about being involved, being engaged, participating in all these things, how would you explain this to them?
I mean, you just need to have the passion, and you need to have the love, and you just, you know, you need to have, having an inspiration, and you're in life. I always say you need to have perspective. You need to have set goals for yourself. Because if you don't set goals for yourself, you're like a car that is driving. You don't know where you're going to.
Mhm.
But setting goals for yourself and having like a dream, I always say dream big. You don't want to dream small, because when you dream big, like when you should for the sky, maybe you will land on one of the stars. So I always say, shoot for the sky and dream big. Be passionate about everything you do. Everything you do it with all your heart. If you're not doing it with all your heart, if you're not giving 100%, don't do it. That's just a waste of time. So have goals, be honest, and be respectful to one another. Be kind to one another, and I believe you will do great in life.
Wonderful, wonderful. So now we have Guerline. Before we bring Guerline in the conversation, I have one last question for you because we started talking about it before I turn it over to Mona Lisa. Before we came on, you were talking about going to college, and you'll be going to college right across the street from me, Mona Lisa, to City College. Um, Tell us about what drove you to picking City College and picking the majors that you're going to pick when you go to college next in the fall.
Picking the major is like something. Well, first I have to say I will be double majoring into civil engineering and into music. Music is something that I always love and passionate about. It is a gift that God has gave me, and I believe this gift God gave me is to bring other people to Him, and especially the youth. And I've always said before I go on stage, I said, God, I just want to touch another life and to bring the youth to you. This is always my goal. But for civil engineering, it is something because one of my friend's father is a civil engineering, and when I'm back in Haiti, I used to work with him, and I guess that's just how it started. I started working with him. I started to develop the passion for civil engineering, and then yeah, it became my dream to become a civil engineer. And when I came here, I just focused, stay focused on my dream. And I've applied to so many colleges, but at the end of the day, I chose to go to City College because I will be attending the Group School of Engineering at City College, which is one of the best um, school of engineering in New York State. So, and also it also kind of give me the possibility to major in civil engineering and music. So this is a win-win for me. So I think City College is the best place for me right now, and I'm looking forward to accomplish many great things.
Wonderful. Well, si n'importe le bon, si vous courez dans l'école là, City College, just run across the street,
I
okay?
know what
And
I
I'll
know
tell
what
you my apartment number. Just knock on the door because you have family here.
you got it, man. I know
That's
what to do
right.
now.
That's right. So, Johnny, I want to ask him the last question because we do want to switch over to Guerline because she's actually back on.
Yes.
So, Jeff, tell us about not just yesterday's activities, but I want to talk about ADA Youth, for example. Well, how important is it for us to have programs like ADA Youth and Society for Haitian Research, My Brother's Keepers Youth? How is that? How do those programs contribute to your achievement?
First and foremost, I have to say yesterday was incredible. I didn't expect anything of that. I mean, I didn't expect any of that. It was beyond expectation. So thanks to you, thanks to you that I made this possible for so many others like me, and we're also grateful for that. But ADA Youth and other organizations as just focusing on giving back to the community and helping those that are that are looking for help. Um, I, um, ADA Youth started for me because I met Sister Betty, and she has told me like you should come around and check ADA Youth. I was like, why not? Sure, Sister Betty, I trust you. So ADA Youth have been giving a lot back, and like I've put a lot into me because such as developing my communication skill, being a leader, and being there for me mentally, you know, going through a lot of tough time. I had Sister Betty. I know I had someone I, I can talk to, I can rely on, I can call. Being having someone there for you is a lot because so many of us. I'm sure yesterday you were saying that when you was growing up, you didn't have these kind of things. So we that my generation, we're also grateful to have these people in our life, to make a such great impact, to share their story, their life story with us, and to this kind of thing like help us from prevent us from making certain mistake in life. Many times we make mistake in life because we didn't know any better. So having ADA Youth and so many other great organizations, help us to stay focused in life, help us, to have our dreams, to have our goals. Um, it's just great for me, going to ADA Youth, meeting other youth just like me, talking, get to know them, and developing many other skills such as leadership, communication, and it's just great. And things that I'm getting from ADU is things that I didn't even expect. It's just like I feel okay, wow. I had to get I received that too. That's such an amazing opportunity. I'm so grateful for every community out there that is being giving back to the community, especially the Black community, the Haitian community, and as such, and at this time right now in the country, we need this community, to make us and in the Black community feel that we are special, as we know we are going to two crises, to two pandemic in our country, the coronavirus and the issue over race. So those kind of organization, they are really important for us and as youths to have, to keep us focused, to not do bad things, because we know as black men, especially, I'm not saying women too, but as black men especially, we are the target in the street when we're on the street. So I think this organization give us a place to go, to to stay away from trouble, to stay away from the street, and to have our dreams and goals and ready to go and to be successful in the future. So I'm very grateful.
Wonderful.
Wow. I'm fighting my tears. I'm just fighting tears. I mean, you leave me with I'm still in awe just meeting you yesterday and understand that we're gonna be in this journey together. You saw my group, you saw my young men, the young men that whose lives I've been in just like yourself for 4 years, and the testimonies that they had yesterday. And if I gave all of them the mic, it probably would have been endless. But you know what? It's not me. I don't want to take credit. It's all the men upstairs, and we're
For
we're
sure.
all in this together. And I stand on a lot of shoulders. And today, all I'm doing is giving back. So I take no credit. And as you can see, and we shared that in our conversation earlier too. I was amazed to see how observing that you were, and you observed every little thing, and the feedback that you were able to give me. I'm so proud of you. Seriously, I'm extremely proud. So before you leave, one last recommendation. If you want to give a couple of recommendations to our youth and to their leaders, what would those recommendations be?
I
Let's
mean,
start with the leaders first. Let's start with the leaders.
for all my leaders out here, you guys are doing a great job. Don't give up. It's true that the youth, sometimes we might be, a little bit reluctant, but I'm sure, and you're doing a great job. Don't give up because you have to give back to us. And I'm sure there's so many of us that are outside, that are waiting out there for you to reach out, con- continues to reach out, to the youth and continue to the great job that you're doing and don't give up. Things might get hard, but never give up. That's why I'm saying never give up. We don't give up. Things might get hard in life, but we don't give up. Because God has a greater plan for each one of us, and God is using you, even though you know it or you might know it. God is using you in a better way and to pour into our lives, into my generation life. So keep on doing the great job, guys.
Thank you so very much on behalf of my sisters who collaborated with me on this activity, on this event. I thank you, Jeff. I appreciate you. And we're going to be there for you, we promise. Now you got Uncle Johnny. So right across the street from your college,
There
take
you go.
take take his invitation, to heart, and do go knock on his door. I'll give it to you. I'll share with you off the air because
For
Absolutely.
I don't want
sure.
anybody to come over your apartment, Johnny.
For sure. And to my youth, man, you guys don't give up, man. Life is like a boxing game. A boxing match, I would say. Life is like a boxing match. So sometimes you might find yourself in the ring, against your greatest rivals. Sometimes you might get a punch in your face, you fall, but don't give up. You you will only win if you're the last one standing. So in every obstacle, in everything you're going through in life, try to be the last one standing. Because if you're the last one standing, and I'm sure you are going to be the winner. And stay positive, stay focused, and I'm sure there's greater things that are coming for you. And make sure you don't put limit on yourself. Don't listen to those that are saying you cannot do that. No, everything is possible. As long as you're focused, you're determined, you have the passion for it, anything is possible. No human is limited. As long as it's up there, regardless of what they say, you might hurt it, but it's gonna come out of that of the other one. Stay positive, stay focused, man. You guys are doing a great job. I know it's hard for you guys in the pandemic right now. I know you guys are going through a lot, but trust me, I know, and I'm one of the youth too, so I can speak from experience from what I'm going through. I'm sure you guys are going through a lot, so
Thank you
keep
so much, Jeff.
encouraged.
We appreciate you. We appreciate you, son. Remember, we have your back. We have your back.
Thank you
So,
very
ladies
much,
and
guys.
gentlemen, please do support our young people. And when we call upon you, for whatever reason, please be receptive. Now it gives me pleasure to transition over to this long-awaited visit with my sister Guerline. We're leaving New York. We're flying to California. Yes, indeed, we just landed. So, Guerline, we're at the door, just open. It's a pleasure to have you this afternoon, sister. And I'm gonna let Johnny really get to interact with you because I don't want to take over. I definitely want to say that we've been in this on this journey together for a long time, and again, finally you're here and you're gonna share your story. And I'm quite sure your audience is sitting here waiting, and so is Johnny, ready. So, Johnny, it's all yours.
Well, Geraldine, first of all, thank you so much for joining us on the show today. It's a real pleasure. Mona Lisa spoke so very highly of you and wanted to have you on the show for so long. So it's a real pleasure to have you on. Just wanted to start as usual with the introduction. Just tell us a little bit about who you are and the work that you're doing right now.
Hi, good afternoon, Johnny, and my queen, my sister, my justice warrior. Mona Lisa, thank you for having me. I know we've been trying to make this happen for a very long time. And I want to take a moment to say thank you to Jeff for sharing his story. And it's interesting that we all came, to this country around the same age. where we were old enough to remember home, right? To remember the life we had home, and old enough to also understand the struggle that was needed to adjust to life in America. And that is the reason why we do what we do. That is the reason why we continue to fight to, for freedom. We continue to fight for justice. We continue to fight for the generation that is coming behind us. And I am so proud of this young man who is an example of what the Haitian American is, of what is possible when given the opportunity to just. And so there's not really much to say about myself. I'm a servant. I grew up in New York and transported in California 15 years ago. But New York is always home. My family's in New York. And, the majority of my friends are in New York. But God did transport me to California, where we've been trying to build community and also becoming more asserting, right, ourselves in serving. Although for me, I never wanted to be doing this type of work because growing up, I witnessed my father. I witnessed the pain that comes with serving community. As Mona Lisa and I will joke a lot of the time that ah, c'est true communauté à nous, yeah.
But that's
This
our
is what
title,
we
honey.
do.
True communauté.
C'est true communauté à nous, yeah, because we don't do what we do for anything other than creating space for people like Jeff. Space, understanding that a lot of those things we didn't have when we came to the United States. When I came to the United States, I didn't have somebody to guide me into the different things that needed to happen. We were new, you know. So that's just a little bit of background about myself. But to speak more about the work that we have been doing here in California. As I mentioned, I have been here for 15 years trying to build community. Represented Haiti in South Korea a couple of years ago, promoting Haitian culture in a very positive light because all the information that were coming about Haiti is always the poorest country in the world. It's always all those, ugly images. So my goal was to bring, positive images, about Haiti. So I also started to create productions that will be integrated New York Fashion Week, LA Fashion Week, really promoting the Haitian culture at the highest level in society. So then when I received a call at the end of 2015, beginning of 2016, stating that we had Haitians at the US-Mexican border. To me, that didn't make sense, and I made a joke. I said, "Are you sure?"
Hmm.
Because we normally swim over, right? No, so nous nager avec Cubain vini Florida. Some of us were fortunate enough to get on a flight to land in New York, but having Haitians at the border between Mexico and California, that was not something that I, was used to. So I just went out of curiosity to make sure that those people really existed. And that first day, we met with 12 young men and women, a little bit older than Jeff. Most of them were between 19 and 24. And I was confused as to how they got there, what they were doing at the border in California. And so they started sharing their stories, understanding that the majority of them were survivors of the earthquake that happened in Haiti in 2010. As we all know very well, over 300,000 people died in 2010 in Haiti, and leaving over 4 to 5 million people completely lost without homes, without anything. So these people were part of a humanitarian program that invited them to come to Brazil, mostly to provide labor, while Brazil was in the middle um, uh,
The
getting ready
construction.
for the World Cup, right? For the
Hmm.
World Cup and also the Olympics. So they needed the labor force to come and help. So these people were part of that labor force. Over 100,000 Haitians migrated to Brazil. And unfortunately, um, the expectation from Brazil did not bear fruit. So, and then the economy collapsed, the political turmoil in Brazil, and naturally, the people who felt it the most were those immigrants, were those, folks who came from Haiti and many different countries in Africa as well. Understanding that Brazil has the largest population of Black people in the world after Nigeria, right? We have more Black Brazilian in we have more Black people in Brazil than we have even in the United States. So you will have thought that discrimination and racism wouldn't exist there, but unfortunately, that is part of the system as well. So those people found themselves traveling on foot from Brazil to the United States. So they literally walked from Brazil, crossing 10 countries in Central and South America, crossing 11 borders to get here. And unfortunately, according to what we know and have learned, about 20 to 25% of them die on the way.
Hmm.
They have to go through the waters in Panama. They have to go through the mountains in Colombia. They have to go through the jungles in Nicaragua, in Honduras, and the pain that they have to go through. I still cannot comprehend it. Almost 5 years later, and almost 30,000 people live. I still cannot comprehend how they are able to make that journey. Parce que I'm toujours dit, with my privileged self, living in Orange County, I will die the first 30 minutes. Mba ka même drug, mba bezwen djo pou mta l fè long distance sa a pied pour m'arriver sous frontière et aux États-Unis. So this is just a little bit of background of how those people, who they are, and how they made the journey to arrive to the United States. So
And
because
so tell us about, so you have an organization now that you're working with, right? So tell us about the name, its mission, and the focus that you guys have.
yes, so because of that, we started this organization called Haitian Wood Alliance. And we provide direct services from ESL to a driver's ed, to getting food for people. We provide humanitarian assistance. We work with doctors and attorneys to provide humanitarian assistance for people in Mexico, from Tapachula, which is the border between Guatemala and Mexico, and then across the state all the way to Tijuana, which is the border state city with the United States. So we have a program there where we provide those type of assistance in Mexico, and in country, the United States, we have um, a visitation program. I want to mention that after right before the elections, the people were no longer allowed to enter into the United States, and at that time, they are putting them in immigration prisons. So when they arrive border to ask for asylum, instead of allowing them to continue the process with their family, they then started putting them in immigration prison. I also want to note that between 2016 and 2017, we had over close to 15% of the population in immigration prisons were Haitian nationals. So
Hmm.
that is something to think about, right? When you have a population of 40,000 people and close to 15% of that are Haitian nationals. Um, very difficult situation to be in. So the Haitian Alliance, we were forced to create a safe space for those people who were coming in. Other than providing direct services, as I've mentioned, we have a visitation program for people who are in detention centers, and we connect them with attorneys, with community, with families, so that we can help them, to get relief. And we also pay for their bonds, understanding that when they put you in those immigration prisons, in order for you to be released, you are required to pay a bond. And that bond could be anywhere between $10,000 to $70,000, specifically for Haitians. And also remember that the immigration prison system really started with Haitians back in the 1980s, because they did not want the black people, right, to be coming in. And also remember what they used to put them in those prisons. They said that they were carrying AIDS into the country. So that's how we remember we had to fight to remove the stigma of Haitians being carriers of AIDS. So this whole system that we see within the prison industrial complex started with us. It started with our people. It started with the parents, our parents who came before us so we could be here. And that is something we don't talk about. We always go fight that we don't want people to say that we carry AIDS, but we tend to forget as to how that narrative began. It began with Haitians coming to ask for asylum, coming as refugees, and then they were caged all the way in Guantanamo Bay as if they were massive criminals. And we have reports that a lot of experiments were done upon those Haitian immigrants who were coming in the 1980s. And I'm saying that to make a connection to where we are as a Haitian American community, so we do not forget those who paid the price for us to be here, and also understand that those new people arriving, we are all in the same fight. Those people who just made it at the border, who are in immigration prison now, their fate is directly connected to those who came in the 1960s, 70s, and 80s.
Yeah.
So,
Have you seen? Do you see a disconnect between, as you say, this sort of this narrative that had evolved over a number of years that many of us do not, people don't know about it because, Mona Lisa, I know one of the group of young people you're working with are young Haitian Americans who are trying to reconnect with their roots and understand sort of that history of immigrants, right? I mean, I think you see if you go to the Italian American community or Irish Americans, or if you go to Jewish communities, people can trace the lineage, right? And people will tell you about the strife that their families went through when they went through, to get here, right? And for some reason, it seems that those of us, and I'll speak only to the Haitian community because I don't know if other communities experience, but I could imagine that they do. We tend to want to shield, right, our children, which then breaks the connection in terms of the sacrifices that were made by those who came before. So the question, I guess, is how do you ensure that, as a community, we don't want to sort of say, well, yes, we were immigrants, yes, we were caged, yes, but how do we make the connection of this legacy that exists, and ensuring that young people, but not just young people, the Haitian community understands that this is something that is ongoing, right? The struggle hasn't ended, right? And so how do we ensure that we keep that connection so that Haitian Americans today are aware of the work that you're doing, are aware of not just in the newspapers, but of all those Haitians who are now in a situation that possibly their parents were in, right?
Yes. Thank you so much, Johnny, for that question. And it is simple. It is the stigma that was attached to it, and understanding that, the Haitian community is 34 years old, wanted so much to not be associated with the stigma. Remember how in school people were bullied for being Haitians. They refused to allow Haitians to give blood because we were dirty and we were all of that. So what that created within the Haitian community is that running away, right, from who we are, because we were dehumanized. And we see that before Wycliffe Jean came with the Fugees, nobody wanted to be Haitians. If you are
It was
black,
not cool to be Haitian.
you will be anything other than Haitian. So because we've been trying so hard not to be Haitians,
Hey, I was Jamaican for a minute.
we
Oh,
were everything.
Look, I was Jamaican. I was from Bahamas for a minute. Let's not. I wouldn't
been there.
even.
Wow.
See, that is the reality, and I think we need to have another
I was
show
sick
just to
motion
speak
for,
about that.
for 1 week.
Look, people will come to me because I spoke Spanish back then, and they will always assume that I was either Cuban or Dominican, and I will tell them, no, I'm Haitian. I was like, oh, but how do you speak Spanish? I was like, well, I'm
Oh,
Haitian.
señora, yo también.
See, so I would say, well, because I'm Haitian, that's why we have this multifaceted aspect to who we are as a people. However, understanding the trauma that came with you are its carriers. So we want nothing to do with being Haitian. And because of that, we never shared, right, our stories. We never told people that we came by a boat and we were in cages and that we were tested upon. We never shared those because we wanted to protect. We wanted
Yeah,
to
but Guerline, even though some of us came by plane, we were still categorized as
it doesn't
boat people.
matter.
Everybody
Exactly.
was in the
It
same
doesn't
basket.
matter. They will say
Yes.
Haitian, and that's the reality. Who say Haitian, who say Haitian, doesn't matter.
Mhm.
And because the stigma is attached to all of us. When the president called Haiti shithole people, li pat mwen tire mwen men Mona Lisa ki se moun New York avec moun
Oh
ki
no,
Miami. We are
Guerline,
all
Guerline, Michel Pat kè si pa po, c'était ancien magistrat Pétionville. Il va kè de ba kon sa.
so to
Nou
that
tout
I
sorti nan se bol la.
exactement. What and that's why I think there is a misconnect within the Haitian American community as compared to other immigrant communities because we've been fighting so hard to not be Haitian. Now it's cool to be Haitian and we all want to be Haitian. Our offsprings are proud to be Haitians because we are instilling in them the value, but our parents didn't do that because of the shame that came with that. And they wanted to protect us. Yo pat fè sa parce que yo pat vle, mais yo te vle que yo protéger ti moun yo pour ti moun yo pa pase nan
Wait,
the misery that comes with it. So, ça son
Thank you, Guerline.
on lot comment dire, yon show de ça spécifiquement pour nous go further into the Haitian community. But that is also why we are seeing there is no support for newly arrived Haitians into the country. When we see TPS, for example, the majority of the people are not really supporting TPS because it's not me. People will tell me, "Gordon, why are you dealing with these things? Why?" Because they don't understand that when he says shithole country, yo pa care sou se US citizens, sou te bon ici, si ke ou fek vini. We all is carriers. We all come from shithole country at the end of the day. So just to go back to the Haitian Bridge Alliance, that's why we continue with organizing the community to understand that we have to move at the l'union fait la force, idea that we carry on, and we work a lot with advocacy to craft, bills, to work with Congress and elected officials to create bills that will then bring relief to the Haitian community, to the immigration justice movement as a whole, but specifically focusing on the Haitian American community. For the past 3 months, we see that they have been having deportations of Haitians every 2 weeks. Imagine. Nan tan COVID-19, déportation a fait sur Haïti chaque 2 semaines. And as well, understanding that over 60% of the people who are in immigration prison who have been tested have tested positive for COVID-19. Parce que yo mette tout moun nan yon grand chambre, so one person gets sick, everybody gets sick. Understand, we all remember avant mars, commencement avril, pat genyen an pil ka COVID-19 in Haiti. But on April 7th, there was a deportation flight to Haiti that had over 129 people, including children as young as 10 months old, who made the journey with their parents and come to asylum. They were deported. Out of those people who were deported, 4 of them have been reported to be tested positive for COVID-19 upon arriving in Haiti. M'pa di ko sa ke se sa ki fe ke numero to a monte en Haiti pour ka COVID-19. However, after that flight, we saw a real sharp hike in numbers of COVID-19 positive in Haiti. Understanding all it takes one person to be infected, and then have it, go to the entire community, to the entire country. So we started a campaign asking the U.S. government to stop deportation of Haitians during the COVID-19.
So this is, I guess, one of the points that we wanted to get with you, Guerline, is as we get to the end of the show is, and I'm sure Marisa probably have maybe 1 or 2 questions, but we wanted to make sure that we talked about what would you say to the Haitian community, and what would you want people who are watching or hearing this to go away with, right? What's the ask? What's the thing that you want people to say, okay, this is how I can be involved. This is how I can help support this movement. This is how I can help support my sisters and brothers and children of Haitian descent who are currently either at the border or in detention camps.
A couple of things. One is to bring awareness to the community, to let them know that immigration is a Black issue. Immigration is a Haitian issue, knowing that immigrants are the really keeping the country moving, right? Without the Haitian American community, who just happen to be immigrants, are the ones keeping the country alive. Number one, we all know that. Number two, we have to come together to support those who are less fortunate than we are. We have to come together to provide assistance for people who are at the border and in immigration detention who are getting deported. We have to come together to provide support to the Haitians who are undocumented in the country, but because of the stigma, they are afraid to speak for themselves. So right now we have a campaign that is ongoing, and thank you, Mona Lisa, for signing a letter to stop deportation to Haiti that we sent to the U.S. ambassador to Haiti, Madame Sisson, and also DHS, the President of the United States, the President of Haiti. All of them received the letter with over close to 400 organizations signed that letter, including Reverend Jesse Jackson, Opal Tometi, who is the co-founder of Black Lives Matter in the United States, And of course, our Queen Mona Lisa signed and really had some other folks sign. But I can tell you, out of the close to 350 plus organizations who have signed, we had a handful of Haitian American organizations that signed. So there is a big disconnect. So we have to continue to bring awareness to the fight for of Haitian immigrants. We will have a campaign continues to go. We will be having another sign on and change.org for people to sign to demand. We're not asking anymore, we're not requesting anymore. We are demanding that the United States treat Haitians properly because we understand that the history between between Haiti and the United States has been a very complicated history. It's a give, Haiti, give, and the United States takes, and nothing gets given back to us as a people. So we are asking you to join us in this journey for freedom and liberation for our people. And we also just started on Friday. We launched the Black Immigrants Bail Fund. As I mentioned before, in order for us to get those people released from immigration prison, we have to pay to get them released. And it could be anywhere between $10,000 to $70,000. And so we just started the Black Immigrant Bail Fund to be able to raise money that will then go to pay for the bonds for those people. Very important. We also providing cash assistance for people who are stuck at the border because now we can no longer travel to go to Tijuana, but we hired a country a country organizer in Tijuana to be able to help us to answer the needs of those people there. Understanding that we even have a little Haiti in Tijuana right now where there's a shelter where we have the patients in there. But understand we have more than 4,000 Haitians at the border between the United States and Mexico right now. And we are the only Haitian-led organization, the only Black-led organization that is specifically working on Black immigrants at the border between Mexico and the United States. So that is a very heavy load for us to carry. But again, nous mettez force de saline, nous mettez chapeau de saline sous tête nous pour nous capable continuer en bataille pour libération tout le monde. Et ça nous dit c'est que we went to the borderland for our brothers and sisters from Haiti, but we stayed for everyone. And one thing I really want the Haitian community to understand is that Haiti, once again, is leading the fight for freedom at the border. So join us and just participate. Tell somebody, let somebody know how can we come together from California to New York to be able to answer to those needs.
Guerline, I have a burning question to ask. Knowing the struggle, because I started this journey with you, and I remember when you first started this, and I sometimes feel bad for not contributing more, but you also understand that I have my own struggle, and sometimes you help me over here with my struggles. And as your ambassador for this program, tell me how we can get more people to become aware, not just be aware, but how can they donate? How can they partake in what's happening? How can my Haitian elected official contribute to what's happening over there? How relevant is it, in this hour for everyone to truly not just talk, but action? Let's have some actions that would actually results in bringing the results that we're seeking.
Yes, let's start with the elected officials first, Mona Lisa. As we know, local elected officials carry the load of the community. We are working on different bills for local communities, for from the local to Congress and Senate. We have been working a lot with Congress and all of that. But I think where we lack is with local elected officials. How do we work to create programs that can bring relief for undocumented folks, for asylum seekers, for TPS? How can they need to join the fight with Haitian Bridge Alliance? And you are the contact for Haitian Bridge Alliance, in that in pour na question ça, c'est comment que nous capables chita ensemble, how do we sit together to create policies that will change, because at the end of the day we need immigration reform. We see every day, I don't know if the community know, but every day the president come up with a new policy, with a new order that just take away from all the different programs and rights that immigrants have. And I don't know if you know that all of those different things have been tested on the Haitian community before they are taken to other communities. Nous-mêmes, Haitian community, c'est guinea pig nou ye. So tout ça que yo besoin di, yo besoin faire, c'est soit haïtien yo la gueule. Even when they were thinking about ça que yo rele anchor babies, moun ki just vini, moun ki fet ici, they were saying that they shouldn't be U.S. citizen. Guess who they named? They say, for example, Haitians shouldn't be, even if you're born here, you shouldn't be a U.S. citizen because you're not African American. All of these different things, understanding that a lot of the bills and policies that are affecting the immigrant community has been tested within the Haitian community first. So that is very important for us to understand. So we really need the elected officials to really do the work that needs to be done and come and collaborate with the Haitian Bridge Alliance, bring other leaders to the table so we can help craft bills and policies that will then benefit the entire community as a large. And then for other people, just come and be in this fight with us. We have a very dated website, but you can still donate there. We are looking for interpretation, people who can interpret for attorneys. We can find an attorney to take the cases, but they don't speak Creole. So we need a Haitian person to be able to get on the phone with the attorney to be able to translate and interpret for the clients. We need people to make donations, but we really need folks to be activated when we call on them, So when something is happening, I don't want to have to be begging folks and for them to tell me they haven't seen it on the news, because when it gets to the news, it's too late, I am not giving up on the community, but I need the community to join us in that fight for freedom.
Yeah. Well, I think you've really said it all. I mean, really, you made the connection in terms of the historical challenges that our parents and those who came before went through with what people are currently experiencing today, the similarities. You've also made the case for how the Haitian Americans who are here, irrespective of social status, whether you were born here or not, the ways in which that you can be involved, some of which can be to go to your website, donating potentially, obviously I'm sure financial resources, money for the bail funds, and people who can potentially get on the phone, help with the translation and their clients, those that speak Creole, and finally ensuring that get our elected official on board to support the work that you guys are doing. And I know, we know the folks at Neon who kind of bring together a lot of elected official to make sure that they're really helping to lead this work, right? Because I think every immigrant community, you can see their elected official really being on the forefront of helping push an agenda and a set of policies that are generally defined by organizations like yours who are on the ground, right? And we need to make sure that Haitian American elected officials really are on the forefront of supporting those kinds of things. So thank you so much for giving us all of this and for sharing your experience, the work that you're doing. If there's anything, if there's closing that you want to see a last closing, and then I'll turn it over to Mona Lisa to take it away.
First of all, thank you, Mona Lisa and Johnny, for allowing me to share with your audience today. And thank you for those who are watching, for allowing us to be in their homes or their cars, wherever they are watching from. We really appreciate it. I am tired, honestly. We have been working literally 18, 20-hour days. We also know that there is an upcoming deportation flight to Haiti this Tuesday, and we know that there is a possibility that 43 people of Haitian nationals will be deported as well. We understand that many of those being deported are families or with children who made the journey, as I mentioned. And we also understanding that because of the way things are, immigrants are not supposed to be human. We cannot make any mistake. Understanding that if a black man is driving a car, they are most likely going to be stopped. And if for any reason they do not have their driver's license, they might end up in police custody. And somebody who has never committed a crime, even if they had, you are allowed to be human. But understanding just driving without a license can then get you deported. Understanding that none of us are safe from the discrimination and the immigration criminalization and immigration system. Any of us can end up having a member of our family where we have to deal with those issues. We say all the time, that is what I believe in, and that's what keeps me going. Many times I can't, and then I have to remember 1804. 1804 has always have to be, or in the rear view for me, and understand 1804 didn't just happen in 1804. It happened back in 1773, where people realized we can no longer do that. So my last word will be join us in this fight. Continue to speak for those who are afraid to speak for themselves, for those who cannot speak for themselves. And I am hoping that when we come together, this upcoming flight that is already scheduled to deport over 43 people, Haitian nationals, will be the very last fight, the very last flight of deportation of Haitians, because the Haitian community will stand up and say enough is enough, and we will demand to the government to stop the deportation and allow our community to breathe. So join us. You can also go on Facebook, check Haitian with Alliance page. Go to Black Immigrants Bell Fund if you can make a donation. Reach out. Let us know if you can. One other thing that we've been experiencing before we go is that most of the people who entered into California, the majority of them go to New York and Florida and Boston. They don't stay here. So when they go to those places, we need community to come around them and make sure that they are taken care of. So the call is to just join us in this fight, and do what we do, right? We change the world, so let's continue to change the world.
Oh, thank you so much, Guerline. I mean, I know we have so much that we could have spoken about. Our experience going to the White House in 2016 together, our trips to Washington, where we share our stories with other sisters of ours, so they can join us on this fight. And I was hoping that many of them who started the journey with you would have stayed, but we realized how hard it is for everyone to maintain this relationship with you. And then when you're in your time of most needs, that's when a lot of them would turn their backs. But I promise you, and I've made a promise. I may take little breaks here and there. It's not necessarily a break from contributing, but it's a break because I'm also engaged in my local community. It's also because I have my hands on a lot of things, and people may complain, "Oh, Mona Lisa, una tut bagay," but the little bit that I can contribute to help to kind of push forward your agenda, I will definitely continue to do that. Um, Also the fact that a lot of the people you mentioned here, Ben and Kabuye that I saw you didn't mention, Opal Tometi, these are all people that I've worked with locally as well on immigration matters. I've participated in a lot of the meetings, a lot of the movements that we've had here in New York on immigration. I've been part of. I've also conducted workshops with those groups, and we've sat together on a lot of trying to decipher information, trying to understand, trying to sense of what's going on with immigration. And trust me, my pledge is to truly try to engage others in whatever way they can. And your website is a website definitely that I will definitely make sure that I'm sharing with others so they can join you on this fight because you can't do it alone. I also know that I owe you a
Owe
series
me
of
a visit.
workshops, coming to California to do the camp that I promised to do for years, the ESL camp, trying to join those people and educate them to empower them, for during their journey in this fight. And we know it's not easy. However, again, bringing awareness, bringing you here to the Mojo, you will end up with a YouTube clip that will be shared with the rest of the world. And I think that's going to increase the level of awareness that you need, that you require for you to continue on this work. I want to thank Johnny for being receptive to this kind of to the needs that you have because he also has contributed a great deal in this kind of work. And we promise, and we're going to join you again more and stay by your side to ensure that you can, reach success, the level of success that you've been looking for years. It's not an overnight thing, but it's a process. We believe in the process. It's a journey. Again, if we put our hands together with l'union fait la force, definitely we will get to the mountaintop. Again, thank you for taking time out of your busy schedule to be with us. To our audience, thank you for your loyalty. Thank you for always being on the Mojo side. We promise we'll always be there for you as well, as long as we continue to live, as long as we continue to breathe, as long as we continue to be existence. Long live the Mojo. Thank you, Johnny, and see you all next Sunday.
Thank you very much, Mona Lisa, and see you next Sunday. Bye bye.